Hello, seniors. This is Mr. Kuzma. Today is 11/28/2017. I'm speaking to you through a slideshow, and I'm going to take the next 5 or 7 minutes of your time to debut a new program called 12th grade academic probation. Academic probation in general is a college concept or structure. I'm going to explain that college concept or structure and explain how we're going to apply it to 12th grade at Chicago Bulls College Prep. In the next 5 or 7 minutes, I'm going to do three things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the need for this structured, targeted academic support. So in general, why, in my judgment, do we need an academic probation program? Second, I'm going to explain the purpose of academic probation in general. I'm going to look at what this looks like in general at a college campus. And third, I'm going to explain the parameters of the program: who, when, how long, requirements, consequences. This won't apply to every senior, but I do hope that every senior pays attention to this presentation, as academic probation will be a structure that is at, if not all of your colleges, universities next year, I would say 95% plus. So why is this a program that I believe is needed at this juncture in the year? As of last week, there are 243 seniors. 60 of those seniors have one or more academic F. When I say academic F, I mean non-advisory, non-enrichment Fs. So Fs in your period 1 through 5, A day and B day classes. 34 of those 60 students have one academic F. 26 of those 60 students have 2 or more academic Fs. The pictures that I've selected on the far right, those are the inside on the top and the outside on the bottom of the UIC form. That's where graduation for the class of 2018 will take place on June 12th, 2018. The last 2 years that I've been a part of the graduation, it's been an excellent event for students and families, and I just wanted to put those over there because it is an expectation of mine that all seniors are there. I think it's a great event, and I think that you have earned it, especially when you pass the difficult classes you're taking your senior year. So keep the big picture in mind. Think of what you're working towards. At the bottom, I wrote seniors do not earn LaSalle for their period 1 through 5 classes. That has been the case the last 3 years I've been in this role. I have had many seniors, especially seniors who struggle in semester 1 the past 3 years, tell me that the lack or absence of LaSalle has impacted their grades. And it goes something like this: I don't necessarily do as much homework, or I don't feel like I have to do my homework on a day-to-day basis because there's not the immediate LaSalle on the other end of that. So while my grades might be worse longer term, I don't have this immediate need to stay after school, and therefore I just am not as well prepared, and I don't have as good of habits perhaps that I had in 10th and 11th grade, and that impacts my grades. I want to also focus in on what happens if you fail one or more classes at the end of semester 1. So this is a draft, so it's important to remember this is a draft. But this would be the night school schedule for semester 2. So if you failed a class in semester 1, you would have to take and recover those credits so that you could graduate on time in June. So let's say you failed your English course. Now, I fully believe all of the 243 seniors, even at this juncture, can pass their English course. But let's say you fail your English course. In semester 2, you'd have to take your English course as currently on your class 1 through class 5 schedule. And you'd also have to take English after school from 3:45 to 5:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You could see how that would be a really long day. And you could see how if you were able to avoid that, you would have more time and space to focus on the college process, to focus on your family, to focus on your other courses. More intensively, though, you see if you fail 2 courses. Let's say if I failed English and if I failed math, the blue blocks and the purple blocks, you see that they occur on the same time. So if this draft schedule stayed consistent, I could only take one of those 2 courses in night school, and I'd actually have to take the second course in summer school, and therefore I would not be able to graduate on time on June 12th. So my work in semester 1 is very important for a lot of reasons, but if I fail too many classes, there's the chance that I can't graduate even in semester 2. So please keep that in mind, especially if you're a student who has borderline grades in the 60, 61, 62, 63, 64 range, or if you have grades that are in the 50s or 40s, you really need to work hard over the next 6 academic weeks to get those grades to passing and beyond. Next, I want to talk about the purpose of academic probation. It's fourfold, and I will just read off what I wrote. First, it's to create a system to help you in your areas of greatest academic need. Second, it's to create a system that mirrors a college system. Academic probation is used at nearly all colleges and universities. I mentioned that at the outset. This is a system that definitely connects with the next 4 years of your life. Third, it's to help you pass your classes, avoid night or summer school, and graduate on time on June 12, 2018. And fourth, perhaps most importantly, it's to help you realize that you can succeed in your classes and you can feel good about your academics in high school and college. I do believe this system is needed for a group of seniors, and I'll explain next the parameters for who would be in it and who would not be in it. Notice I did not say the word punishment in any way, shape, or form. I don't perceive this as a punishment. I perceive this as a support, and I perceive that as a support that will help students get better habits short term and get to graduation long term, and even longer term after that, have a correct set of skills that help them in their first and second year of college. I'm not going to read through all of this for the sake of time, but the program was modeled off of DePaul University's academic probation program. So I'm a grad student right now at DePaul University, and I went to their academic probation program and I saw what do they do? What do they recommend? The fourth and fifth bullet points really stood out to me. Closely follow the course syllabus for course requirements, instructor's office hours, grading scale, and assignment deadlines. And the fifth bullet point, make a realistic and manageable schedule for progress. I hear and see teachers and advisors do this on a weekly basis. The advice that a lot of our teachers and advisors give you on a weekly basis is college preparatory, is aligned with what your college counselor will be detailing for you next year. Now the questions of who does this program apply to? This program on the top left will apply to students with 2 or more academic Fs. If you have no academic Fs, great job, keep it that way. If you have 1 academic F, you're technically not in the program. Okay. Bottom left, where and when. This program will utilize school-wide pre-existing structures, so it will utilize office hours and discussion hall. On the top right, how long is the program? Students move on or off of the academic probation list on a bi-weekly basis. Bi-weekly means 2 weeks. This program will start on Monday, 12/4, that's next Monday. On Sunday, 12/3, I will pull all of the students with 2 or more Fs academically. Those students will be in academic probation. All of the other students will not. Okay. And the requirements. What happens if you have 2 Fs? As I mentioned earlier, it's not a punishment. It's a support to get you to not have the 2 Fs and to feel better about your academic profile. What you'll have to do is you'll have to complete 90 minutes per week of targeted academic support in the courses you're currently failing. Let's take a look at what this would look like on a week-by-week basis. So I want to show you, if you have 2 academic Fs, what this program will look like on a week-by-week basis. On Sunday, 12/3, I'll pull all of the Fs for seniors, and I'll look at the students with 2 or more academic Fs. If you have 2 or more academic Fs, on Monday, 12/4, you'll receive notice and advisory from me. So your advisor will hand you out a lot of the information that's already been said in here, along with some trackers. And you'll have Monday, 12/4, Tuesday, 12/5, Wednesday, 12/6, Thursday, 12/7, and Friday, 12/8 to get 90 minutes of targeted support in those areas that you're failing. And you'll have until the end of the day on Friday, 12/8 to turn that tracker into the main office. Now, if you don't turn that tracker into the main office, you'll be assigned LaSalle Monday, 12/11 and Tuesday, 12/12. And that's where you see possible LaSalle highlighted in yellow for both of those dates. The thinking behind this is you have 90 minutes the week before to help yourself get on better footing in those classes, and you could budget that time however you see fit. If you're unable to follow through on that, there has to be some sort of consequence. The consequence is going to be basically 90 minutes of silent study hall. Each LaSalle is 45 minutes, so that's where the 90 comes from. Let's presume that you do the work that you're supposed to during the week of 12/4. If we go to Monday, 12/11, it's a bi-weekly program, so it's 2 weeks. Your time would reset, so you have to get 90 minutes of targeted support in the classes that you're failing on 12/11, 12/12, 12/13, and 12/14. You'd have to turn those 90 minutes in a tracker into the office at the end of the day on 12/14 because there's no school on 12/15. Now, let's assume that you did this 2 weeks in a row and your grades are markedly better. Now let's say you have 1 F or 0 Fs. When I pull the new list of students for Monday at 12/18, if you no longer have 2 Fs, you're out of the program. Conversely, if you had 1 F or 0 Fs, but you had a very poor 2 academic weeks and now you have 2 Fs, perhaps on Monday, 12/18, you're now involved in this program. And the same structure resets, where you'd receive notice from your advisor from me on 12/18. You would have 12/18, 12/19, 12/20, 12/21, and 12/22 to get 90 minutes of targeted academic support in office hours and discussion hall, and you have to turn that tracker into the office by the time you leave on Friday, 12/22. If you fail to do so, the Monday and Tuesday that you come back from winter break, you'd have LaSalle. Question will happen, what if I skip LaSalle? It's the same consequences. If you were in 9 through 11, it would be a 4 demerit logged to Power School and detention. Next steps. So if you're in the program as of 12/4, the academic probation program, you should expect to get a paper that looks like this. The big white spot on the bottom third will actually have your specific academic Fs, so you know exactly what to target. You'll also receive 2 trackers that look like this, one for the first week and one for the second week. On these trackers, you simply write the date, you write what office hours or discussion hall you attended, you write the time you were there, and get the signature from the teacher or discussion hall supervisor, and this is what you physically turn into the main office, either on Friday 12/8 or Thursday 12/14, depending on which week. Again, I want to come back to what the purpose of this is. I'm not going to read through this again, but the purpose is to help you academically. It is not punitive, and the purpose is to mirror a college system. So sitting back and thinking of the 243 seniors, it is my best judgment that this is a system that will help some seniors perceive themselves as stronger in the academic courses they have in front of them right now, avoid night school, avoid summer school, graduate on time, and have a better footing at the beginning of college.